Good morning. Happy Friday, everybody. Looks like we got a good looking bunch of folks over there in the chat already this morning. We got Mr. Mark Lindsay's up early this morning. How are you doing, Mark? Good to see you here on the coffee sessions. We got Jim. How you doing, Jim? Good to see you here. Javi's up and kicking after another trip around the sun yesterday. So happy day after birthday, Javi. Let's see who else we got here. Tim's in the house this morning. How you doing, sir? Steve Goronsky says says good morning, everyone. 35 degrees here in Oklahoma this AM. Yeah, it's a little nippy. Kevin Els, how you doing, Kevin? Good to see you here this morning. I realized yesterday, and Steve just reminded me here. I said yesterday I was going to give you my tip of the day and show you how to how to type the little degree symbol. So I'll do that this morning. Mark knows how. A balmy 35 degrees here in Southern Oregon this morning, he says. Troy Pritchard. Rob Schuster. Morning, everyone. First day of a long weekend, drinking coffee and listen to the CNC work in the garage. Life is good. Yeah, that's got to make for a pretty good day. You just listen to that CNC going. Always says clear 83 down here in Miami, but I expect cold weather soon. It could get down to at least a bone-chilling 77. Oh, my gosh. Put on a sweater, Javi. Eddie Hall's in the house this morning. How you doing, Eddie? Hey, there's Janet. Everybody say hello to Janet. How you doing, Janet? Jeff Nearcorn's in the house watching over on the tubes. He says, I remember how to do the cent symbol too. Yeah, the degree one's the only one I ever learned that stuck with me because I use it quite a bit. When you're answering questions about 90-degree V-bits or 60-degree V-bits, I learned how to do that. But anyway, for those of you who don't know, it's really quite simple. You just hold down the Alt key, and then it's 0176. So try it out. Put a comment in the chat and tell me how warm or cold it is wherever you're at. And it's Alt 0176, and it'll put a little degree symbol there, and you'll know how to do it from now on. Let's see. Bob Lee says it's 27 degrees here in Ohio this morning. Troy says hi. Hello, Janet. Vince Roberts in the house this morning. Mike Sills. Morning, everyone. 25 and snowing in Ohio. Oh, my gosh, already. Mark Lindsay says those are the only two I remember. Well, you know one more than I do because I only remember the degree one. I haven't bothered trying to learn the cents one. Michael Pinkerton in the house. How you doing, Michael? Troy's figured it out. 21 degrees. Yes, indeed. He's got it figured out. Mark says the C symbol is Alt plus 162. I'll try to remember that, although I usually don't put cents on anything. So unless I'm leaving a comment, I'll say my 2 cents worth, but I usually just write that out. So for the Mac, it's Option asterisk or Shift Option A. We don't care about you Mac guys. We don't care about that, Javi. Come on. Bob Lee's Wood Shop and Other Things. Hey, Dave and Javi. I'm a fan of Alt 0241. 32. Okay. Sounds like it's pretty cold where most of y'all are at. I'm not even sure what it is here. It did seem a little nippy when I let the dogs out, but um, nippy here is not the same as nippy in Ohio or something like that. So, uh, yeah, Mark Lindsay says people actually use Macs. Yeah. I'm on the phone, no alt key. Yeah. Yeah. Those phone keyboards always screw me up because I use a lot of symbols in different passwords and things. And it's easy on a regular keyboard, a QWERTY keyboard, because I can remember a phone number, and then that's what I do is I just hold shift down and type that phone number, which is going to put the symbols. But when I'm on a phone or something like that, it doesn't jive. You got all those symbols and they're all scattered out every which way. So I'm pretty much screwed when I have to put a password in using my phone. So all righty. Well, got big news here in Atlanta today. President Trump and Vice President Mike Pence are going to be in town. The lady on the news was talking about how it's, probably going to screw up traffic and stuff. And I'm thinking to myself, it's Friday in Atlanta. How are they going to tell the difference? I mean, traffic if you know anything about Atlanta, traffic sucks all the time, but especially on Friday. So I don't see how Trump or Pence could mess it up any more than what it already is. So anyhow, I hope everybody's got some coffee this morning. Man, my coffee's tasting really good this morning. I don't know if it's got anything to do with it being Friday or not. Yeah, Mark says, what could anything screw up Atlanta traffic? Yeah. I don't know how they're going to be able to tell any difference, really, because it's pretty much screwed up on Fridays and a lot of other days, anyhow. We were talking about cell phones and stuff yesterday, and I was, of course, we ran out of time before I got to talking about anything else, but I had something I wanted to talk about today. And it's a little far-fetched, I guess, a little out there. But then, 50 years ago, cell phones were out there and unheard of and all that stuff. So I want to know, do you guys think that there's anybody that's, any scientist or person like that that's working on a time machine? You used to think about stuff like that and you think, that's just silly. But, like I said, I never would have thought I'd be able to pick up a little device and call halfway around the world or text somebody instantly and stuff like that. So you never know. Somebody might be working on that. Poor old Mike Sills says, I have to go to the Atlanta airport today. Good luck, Mike. That's all I can tell you. Because, yeah. Janet Moore says, drove through Atlanta once, speed limit was 40. I was doing 60, and they were blowing past me like I was sitting still. Yeah. I think the speed limit signs in Atlanta are just kind of suggestions. Because if you don't do, 10, 15 mile an hour faster than that, you will get run over. It's like it's almost like driving at Talladega. Everybody's trying to bump draft or something. It's a mess. So, and that's why they have so many wrecks. Is especially if it's raining, people drive the same way when it's raining as they do when it's dry. And then when you have the least little thing, they can't stop in time. So, and they can't stop in time on drive payment either. So, let's see. What do we want? Time travel. When do we want it? That's irrelevant. Yeah. Um, well, I just wondered, if you guys had a chance, let's say somebody came up with a time machine and it had been tested and proven to work. Everything was safe. They could send you to the past or the future, wherever you wanted to go, and get you back safely. If you had the opportunity to get in one of those things, would you go to the past or would you go to the future? Just curious to see. I'm betting. Well, I'm not really betting because I don't bet. But if I was a betting man, I would say that everybody or most everybody would prefer to go to the past. And I'm kind of basing that on the crowd I see over here in the chat. I'm guessing that most folks, and you can put this in the comments too, most folks are probably a little older crowd here in my chat here. So yeah, I was just looking. There was a story about Bill Shatner, Captain Kirk, getting in a Twitter feud with somebody that said, okay, boomer. I guess that's the new thing where the younger crowd, thinks they're insulting us by saying, okay, boomer, or whatever. And it turns out, Bill Shatner's even older than that. So he's not technically a boomer. So, but yeah, I looked it up, according to somebody here, I don't remember who this was. They said the silent generation was born 1928 to 1945. So that would be 73 to 90 years old. And of course, Bill Shatner falls into that category. Baby boomers, which I am a proud member of that club, was born from 1946 to 1964. So we're all 54 to 72 years old. Generation X, born 1965 to 1980. So they're 38 to 53 years old. Millennials, born 1981 to 1996. So they would be 22 to 37 years old. And post-millennials now are from 1997 to present, so 0 to 21 years old. So the newest generation, I guess, are post-millennials. But anyway, let's see what we've got here. Mike says, we're going to park in North Atlanta and take the train right to the airport. Yeah, that's probably your best bet. Because I think Trump and Pence are going to be, I know they're going to be in Buckhead for a while, and then they're going to be right downtown also. So Bob says, yeah, there's an accident every 2 miles, pretty much. All right, Mark Lindsay said, I would imagine someone out there is trying to figure out the physics behind time travel, probably teleportation too. Yeah. It would be easy for us to sit here and go, oh, that's just crazy. Nobody's ever going to do that. But like I said, you never know what they might come up with. Bob Lee says he would go back and visit his parents. Yeah, I would definitely like to do that myself. Javi, 1 week into the future for lotto numbers. Oh, man. The past for sure. Bob Lee's. Michael Pinkerton, past and make investments on things that are successful today. Yeah, maybe go back and get you some Facebook or Amazon stock or something. Past, scared to death to think of the world my grandkids will be growing up in. Yeah. Well, that is one thing. I mean, if you get in a time machine and you say, all right, Bob, take me back to 19 whatever, at least you can look in history books or even remember, and you kind of know what you're going back into. But if you say, hey, let's go the other way, you don't have a clue. And I would be afraid that I would get in it and go to the future, and there would be something happen that I couldn't, the time machine would get tore up or whatever, and I wouldn't be able to get back. So yeah, I'd probably definitely want to always go back the other way. He says X. I'm not sure what that's supposed to mean. Maybe he's a generation Xer, I'm guessing. Vance Roberts says, for some reason, I'm not able to see anyone's comments. It's probably what it is, Vance. You're watching over there on Facebook. So the only comments you're going to see on Facebook is other people that are commenting on Facebook. Facebook does not want to play well with everything. And I see the comments in here on the StreamYard platform that I'm using. So I can see there's a YouTube comment, and I can also see Facebook comments. They come all in here together. But if you're watching on Facebook, you're only going to be able to see the Facebook comments. And likewise, I think the people over watching on YouTube are only going to see the YouTube comments. If I was using that Restream software or that third-party thing, I think it would. Well, I think still it was the same way with Facebook. You only saw the Facebook, but I think it did bring Facebook comments into the YouTube stream, if I remember right. But I don't like using that now that I don't have to. That StreamYard's got their own multi-streaming, because you can't schedule as well. You have to kind of go live and then try to get the link out there. And this way people can, there was already a handful of people in the chat before I ever went live. 64 here. Let's see. That's, you barely made the baby boomers then, Troy. Future for sure. Man, he's brave. I don't know that I'd want to go that way. Mark Lindsay's got to go. He says, I'm generation uses correct spelling and punctuation in text messages. Yeah. When I make comments and stuff, I'm amazed at some of the people, the stuff they post. And it's like, did you even look at it before you click the button? But I know even sometimes, autocorrect will get you. And, but it bugs me, because if I go back and see a comment, it don't matter if it was one I made 5 days ago. If I see that autocorrect did something and it made something I didn't want to, I'll go back and fix it, because that just bugs me. He loves technology, he says. Yeah. Clyde, 1946. Yeah, you're right at the beginning of the baby boomers then. I missed the boomers by a year and don't consider anybody born in the 60s, late 60s, Generation X. Well, according to the thing I printed out, you are. Like I said, they're showing Generation X 65 to 80. So, and it looks like they usually take about an 18-year. Well, I don't know. Generation X is from 65 to 80, so that's what, 15? No, that's 75. Yeah, that's 15 years. I don't know how they come up with those numbers. I don't, but that's what this says. Generation X here. Sherman set the Wayback Machine for a time when this cartoon was current. Yeah. But would it change the present if you went back in time? Well, who knows? That's what, what would be cool is, when every time they do a show, make-believe show about a time machine, they always say, if you go back in time, you can't, like you can't change history because it'll mess everything up. But yeah, Janet Moore says, but what if you go back home and screw up the future? Yeah. Yeah. I imagine I'm probably not going to be around if and when a time machine is ever made. I could be wrong, but I'm not counting on it. And even if they did get one, it'd probably be where only the rich people could afford to take a trip on it. So I'd be out anyway. So not sure I'd want to. If I knew for sure that everything would be cool, I would definitely like to go back a ways. Not very far, but back a ways. Mark Lindsay says, yeah, we only see YouTube comments unless you highlight them on the screen. Okay, now you're talking about the Facebook people? Because I look over in the chat, I got YouTube open over here on this other screen, and I can see all kinds of comments. And I'm assuming if you're in the YouTube chat, you can see each other's comments. But if you're on Facebook, you're only going to be able to see them if I do this. 62 years young. There you go. Good. Yeah, well, since we're talking about time machines, if you could go back, like I said, I think we've got kind of an older crowd here. I shouldn't say older. We got a more mature crowd here. That's what we have. But if you could go back and give advice to yourself for back when you were like, I don't know, 16, 18 years old or something, what advice would you give yourself? Love to see the comments on that. Mark says, yeah, he meant the Facebook comments. Yeah, I figured you did. I don't know if I had to go back and give myself advice when I was like 18 years old, I would be, I'd have to be there a while. I'm pretty sure I will have lots to tell myself. But I don't know if I would change anything. I'd probably make all the same mistakes all over again, just cause. Tommy G says, you make me feel so young. Yeah. Mark Lindsay says, there are a couple of my ancestors I'd like to talk to. I'd probably scare the hell out of them, though. Yeah. I would like to go back far enough. Well, I'd actually have to go back before I was born to see some of my grandparents, because my grandmother on my mom's side, she passed away before I was even born, so I never even got to see her. So invest in Apple, good advice. Yeah. Let me see what Javi's got on his mind. Wouldn't matter. At 16, I wouldn't have listened. Yeah, you're exactly right. You probably wouldn't do any good. Jim Jones has got it going on. He says, I don't think I would give any advice. The struggle is what makes you, you. Amen. Amen. I tell my 18-year-old self to learn to weld and go buy that 59 DeSoto convertible I turned down. Troy says, cherish the people you love more than you already do. They will be gone too soon. Yeah. Yep, they sure will. Well, that's some interesting thoughts about time travel. Tommy G says welding is fun, and he should know. Tim says, save more money and move to a warmer climate. Yeah. Yeah, it's hard to say what kind of advice I would give myself. I think Janet probably hit it. Oh, I probably wouldn't listen anyway because I didn't back then when everybody else tried to tell me stuff. And you know how it is too. One of the things they say that's really true is back when you were young and stupid, your parents or your grandparents would try to tell you stories and stuff, and you're like, oh yeah, cool, and just go on, didn't pay attention. And now I would love to be able to sit with, both mom and dad and grandparents, and just get them talking to tell some of the stories that they probably tried to tell me back then, and I didn't pay any attention to. But when you're young like that, you don't think, you just think everybody's going to be around forever, and that's not the way it works. But anyhow, let's see how much time we got left. Yeah, we're about 3 minutes left here. Well, I don't see any more comments about the. We got another one here. Tommy G says the only thing I would change is to invest in something. Yeah, I know one thing I would have done if knowing what I know now, I would have invested in myself more. Instead of always thinking you have to, you got to have a good job and a stable job and work for somebody else. I would have taken more chances. I think that holds back a lot of people. They're afraid of failure, so they don't even do it until they're kind of forced to. But I would invest more in myself. If I could go back and do that, I would have changed some things and done some things earlier. Maybe, who knows? I don't know. Well, we're getting down to the timer's going to be going off. I think I've hit that timer 2 days in a row now, so I'm on a roll. I think we got a couple of comments coming here. I look over at YouTube and I see them scroll, and then it takes, because of the delay, it probably takes 20 or 30 seconds to to pop up over here. Well, come on. I'm sitting here waiting. Yeah, there. All right. Rob Schuster says career advice: only get out of some bad jobs faster. Yeah. Yeah, you're exactly right. Sometimes you get stuck in a job and it sucks, but you just stay in it. Yeah, I've done that for sure. Mark says, same here. I would have taken some of the opportunities that I turned down for one reason or another. All righty. Well, it's like I said, my timer's going to go off in about 30 seconds, so we're going to wind this one down. Hope everybody has an awesome Friday, an awesome weekend. If you got any travel plans, stay out of Atlanta if you can, because the big man will be in town and screwing up traffic, so they say. So anyway, have a great weekend, everybody. Until tomorrow's show, yeah, we'll be doing probably another hobby. When I say it, it always sounds like I'm saying hobby CNC question and answer thing Saturday, I imagine. I'm trying to get a guest on, and I don't think he's going to be able to make it this weekend. So probably just do another question and answer. And I know I sometimes people try to sneak CNC questions in here, so I know there's some. So anyway, let me get out of here, and everybody have a great weekend. We'll see y'all tomorrow night or Monday morning. Everybody have a good one.